Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Walking Dead video here. So in this one here, we actually got some pretty exciting news regarding Andrew Lincoln, and I guess the Rick and Michonne television show in general, and that is that they will begin filming the show in early 2023, and it seems like it's closer to the end of the winter, early spring, but I'm guessing more like the end of the winter, probably like March, I'm assuming. March, April, like the end of March, early April, around there. Because again, it does seem like we are going to be getting that release date, that fall release date for the Rick and Michonne TV show, because Andrew Lincoln said at Comic-Con this year, right? Like next year, we'll be back here, and I think he said something like we'll show something or something like that. I could be getting that wrong, but basically when you watch it, you're sort of getting the hint that there could be a trailer or something shown there. So I think it makes a lot of sense. So before we go any further, obviously make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. Now, of course, this news here comes from Julian Cannon on Twitter, and obviously a really great source for all Walking Dead content. A lot of great insight from him. He does get a lot of information and whatnot. So yeah, shout out to him because he actually did get this here, and yeah, he does say that the Rick and Michonne series is going to begin filming early next year, probably around the end of winter, early spring. He got that from Gimple, and Gimple's the one that did confirm that. So obviously, I do believe that this happened at New York Comic-Con. That's likely where he got that information, and I'm excited about that because I think it makes the most sense. A lot of us sort of predicted that was likely when they were going to film. It was possible maybe they would film something early this year or later this year, I guess. But with the Daryl show only starting to film this month, it probably, it makes sense that they would wait a little bit here. The Walking Dead Dead City, that is going to be wrapping up very soon for filming, probably by the end of the month, early November, because they filmed 5 of 6 episodes. So they're just working on the finale right now, which is kind of cool. And we got the release date for that as well, right? That show is coming out in April of 2023. So based off of that, Fear the Walking Dead has been filming for a couple of months now. The Daryl show is beginning to film this month at some point. I mean, not yet, but I'm guessing in the next week or two, they're going to start filming that. And then we have the Rick and Michonne TV show beginning to film, I'm guessing in March. For now, I'm just going to say March. There's no confirmation, but they did say end of winter, early spring. And obviously that is likely around March, like spring begins in March. So it's around there, I think. It's going to be roughly around there. And it's going to be an exciting time because, obviously people are going to be so hyped for that. After The Walking Dead ends next month, we have about a month and a half away, I guess, until it ends. Then there's going to be that break. I mean, obviously when The Walking Dead ends on November 20th, there's probably going to be a bunch of stuff that drops, right? Like Fear the Walking Dead, they're probably going to tease the release of that. There's quite a bit of stuff that they're probably going to get into there, like the Dead City trailer, right? We'll probably see that. They'll tease an April release for that. The Daryl show, they could give us something there. There's probably going to be a Rick Grimes related post-credit scene because they are working on a post-credit scene right now. Maybe there's multiple post-credit scenes, right? I have no idea what they're planning to do, but I do find it very, very fascinating that in terms of the Rick and Michonne TV show, they are pretty quiet about it. There does seem to be something regarding the ending here that obviously does sort of set up a lot of that. And I'm not going to talk about episode 19 or 20, but if you've watched episode 19 or you saw the ending of that episode and you watched episode 20, or at least the trailer, not the actual episode, obviously, then you would have saw that they're sort of going in one direction there, it seems like. And I'm excited for this. Honestly, I'm really excited to see when they actually start filming because there's going to be a lot of stuff like on-set photos and whatnot, seeing Andrew Lincoln back on set as Rick Grimes. Man, there's going to be so much excitement there. The people that are going to be on set there trying to get photos and whatnot, it's going to be really nuts. And not even that, remember with The Walking Dead, they really used to focus on everything. There was so much stuff with the show that they used to focus on, like scouting and casting, and they still do that for The Walking Dead. They still do that with all the other shows. But, whenever they do get a word of where they're going to be filming, the location of this show, man, there's going to be so much stuff that drops that any information with this is going to be so valuable. We're all going to be so excited to talk about all of it because we want to know where Rick is. There's a lot of story elements that we're just kind of excited about. And obviously, I'm not going to talk about spoilers for the show because if spoilers do come out, leaked photos and stuff like that, I don't talk about things like that. But if there is information that comes out regarding, oh, they're filming in this area here, that's pretty obvious. Everyone kind of knows that, right? Because if you're in that area, just the news that's reporting on that, they know that the show is filming in that area, so that just sort of hints at where Rick was taken and where the show is going to be set. And it's interesting, in terms of just some of the story stuff with Rick and Michonne, because obviously they're probably going to be apart for most of that first season there, just trying to find each other, right? At some point they may be aware that one or the other is trying to find each other, and then it's just trying to get to that person, trying to do that. And I really hope they build it up so well, because I think, the reveal of them reuniting in the finale, I think could be so emotional, especially for Michonne, who is just finding Rick for the first time, seeing him physically after believing that he was dead for many, many years. I think that could just be one of the most emotional scenes to date. That's why I don't want it to happen in the first episode, second or third. I want it to happen in the finale. I think that's what this first season should focus on, is just them trying to find each other, and then eventually they do at the very end, right? And just how emotional and big that could be, because it's going to be really insane. And so let's actually talk about the 2023 slate here of what we're getting here for The Walking Dead. So this is sort of the prediction I have. I'll put it up on screen here just in sort of whatever way I can, but I kind of feel like in February, I think Fear the Walking Dead season 8 will premiere. I think it'll go until like April. I think at that point, a week later, a week or two later, maybe on the same night, I don't know, but around the same point, obviously, Dead City will be premiering that April. It could be the end of April or mid-April, it really depends, but it's going to run for 6 weeks, obviously, because it's 6 episodes, which will then end probably at the end of May, early June, and that's where I see Fear the Walking Dead picking back up, and then I see Fear the Walking Dead's, the second half of its 8 episodes practically running from that point there, like late May, early June, up until, I guess, Comic-Con. Maybe it goes through Comic-Con a little bit, but around there, I think the Daryl show at that point will probably air in August then, right? That's what I'm assuming, right? I'll probably get the Tales of the Walking Dead release date next year, just because I don't see it. Well, I don't see Tales of the Walking Dead being renewed at this point. There's been no talk about it. I think the show just was a disappointment. I think people honestly just weren't really, there was so much potential there. I don't know how that you could ruin an idea like that, but apparently they did. So I don't know if it's getting renewed. But yeah, I think the Daryl show is going to be taking place of this show. And then, yeah, if that premieres at the end of August, and that goes 6 weeks until early October, that takes us to the premiere of the Rick and Michonne TV show, which I believe is premiering in early October. That'll run for 6 weeks and go until about like mid-November. I think this makes so much sense. This is our slate of Walking Dead content for 2023. It's pretty crazy. It's a lot of Walking Dead content, but you know what's funny about it? Obviously you could argue that Fear the Walking Dead isn't as important, but this slate of content here is on spin-offs and shows that really matter. And I was actually thinking about that. Fear the Walking Dead could get really good. We'll see where they go. But I was actually thinking, going forward after 2023, because this is going to be for the first seasons of all these shows, right? And it depends, I guess. These shows might not get renewed. Maybe The Walking Dead officially ends next year and that's it. Everything's over. AMC is done now with The Walking Dead. I really doubt that. I would be shocked. Honestly, I'd be so shocked just because there's such a massive fan base there. It seems like everyone wants to do it. The actors and actresses, they all want to do it. Everyone wants to keep going. So why end here? Andrew Lincoln's finally coming back and he's just going to come back for 6 episodes. Obviously they already confirmed it's more than one season, but that's why I kind of think, and I was thinking going into 2024, what do you want the Walking Dead universe to look like, right? Obviously, I think they should do a second season of all these shows, like the Daryl show, the Maggie and Negan show, the Rick and Michonne show. Do a second season of those shows, but maybe make the episodes or make the season 10 episodes long each so that we have 30 episodes combined for the Rick, Daryl, and Maggie shows, right? Then maybe end Fear the Walking Dead. Maybe you can keep Fear going on, or maybe reduce the episode count to 10. But I feel like, Fear the Walking Dead, I guess you could go another year or two potentially. But I feel like we're getting to that point now where I think we probably could end the show soon. Maybe with a season 9, I think that's possible, but there's a lot of good characters there. And I was talking about this a little bit on the Discord today. There's a lot of good characters on Fear the Walking Dead that are sort of being, I think, ruined by the writing and stuff. Season 6, again, was really good, but season 7 was just awful. And there's so many great characters on Fear the Walking Dead that I would love to see interacting with our Walking Dead characters. Gimple has been teasing these crossovers or this big universe for a long time. I think now with the Walking Dead ending this year, it's time to start to get into some of that stuff, right? How long are we going to be waiting? Another 5 or 6, 7, 8 years? We can't be waiting that long. Now is the time. Next year, maybe not, because it's the first season for all of these shows. So focus on setting up some of that stuff, whatever. But for the second season, Jeffrey Dean Morgan had that interaction or whatever with Alicia Dednam Carey on Twitter, saying like, oh, you should join our show. Like, how do you feel about New York? And Alicia Denham Carey seemed very excited about that. And I do think if she wanted to come back, like if she actually wanted to come back to the Walking Dead universe, she would probably be on that show. Which, could you imagine Alicia being there with Negan and with Maggie? With Fear the Walking Dead ending eventually, you know, that opens the doors to having Dwight and Sherry go on that show, which would be so cool for the Maggie and Negan spinoff. I think it actually sets all that up so perfectly. Morgan and Madison maybe go to the Rick and Michonne TV show. You know, there's a lot of things that you're able to do here. There's so much stuff that I think you can do with these crossovers, and maybe that's the focus for season 2 of all those shows, right? And then season 3, maybe there's a couple more. I mean, honestly, I could see Rick and Michonne in season 1 in the finale reuniting. And then in season 2, maybe, you know, you focus on those two characters together. There's some other plots, this and that. And then at the end, maybe Morgan appears there, right? That'd be so cool. Maybe season 2 of the Rick and Michonne TV show ends with Morgan's return. You know, like they sort of reunite. Season 3, you see those characters together. Maybe there's some more interactions with like Daryl and other characters. Maybe you have some more crossovers there. I don't know how they're going to handle all of that. And then season 4, maybe that's the ending. Maybe that's actually the last of it there. And then all the characters reunite, and it's like this big story. You know, they defeat the Civic Republic, and then they all sort of go back to Alexandria, and it's just very simple at that point. I don't think it's going to be that predictable, but that's just kind of what I think they're going to do here, because The Walking Dead is clearly going to be living on for quite a while. Andrew Lincoln and Denai Guerrera are coming back to play Rick and Michonne. And it's not going to be for just 6 episodes, and it's not going to be probably for just 2 seasons. Like, it seems like they're back because they want to end this story right. And I remember Andrew Lincoln, you know, like I remember with The Walking Dead, he wanted to kind of leave the show. And I think he wanted The Walking Dead to end after 4 or 5 seasons or something like that. So I think that's probably what he has in mind here with this show, is like, you know what, we'll do 6 episodes. Maybe AMC will want them to do 8 or 10 eventually with like season 2 or 3. Which I think is fine because most TV shows are there. Like when The Walking Dead started, most TV shows back then were doing 16 or 22 episodes, right? So that's why I would say The Walking Dead has such a high episode count, is because of that. But I don't think with these shows they're going to do that. They'll probably do at the most 10 episodes. And I could see Andrew Lincoln and Denai Guerrera just being like, you know what? We'll come back for this story, make this really, really cool epic story. And then we'll end it after 4 to 5 seasons. Like that, it'll just be, that's it. So anyways, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit here. You know, it's going to be an interesting time here going into 2023 because there's so much stuff coming out. The Rick and Michonne TV show, you know, like filming next year is something that is so exciting. It makes me so happy, honestly. I can't wait to see Rick back. And it's not even just seeing Rick back, it's just seeing Andrew Lincoln in character again as Rick Grimes. I don't know how they're going to stop those set photos. Like, that's what I said. Like, they should just post the set photo online. They really should. Like, take a photo of Andrew Lincoln in gear or in costume for the first time as Rick Grimes and immediately post it to your Twitter, because people are going to get it first, and you don't want that to happen. It happens a lot with every TV show and movie, right? Like, it happens a lot. So I think, yeah, just get ahead of it, do that. Fans are going to be so excited. They'll know that they're filming. I mean, fans are going to find out that they're getting ready to film anyways, because we already kind of found out, right? So yeah, I'm excited. I really can't wait to see Rick and Michonne back as, well, I guess I just can't wait to see Rick and Michonne back, right? So anyways, post all your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video. What do you think the Walking Dead universe is going to look like over the next 4 to 5 years? Hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.